Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Rebecca, psychologist and relationship coach. Let me ask you something raw, something that might sting a little. When the woman you care about suddenly starts to pull away, stops replying as fast, becomes colder, distant, even starts ignoring you, what do? Do you chase her, text her again, try to fix what you don't even understand? Because that's what most men do. And that's exactly why she loses even more attraction for you. Before we go deeper into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to tell you will flip how you see women forever. Now listen carefully. When a woman distances herself, it's rarely sudden. It's a build-up, silent moments stacked over time. You probably didn't notice when her tone softened into politeness, when her eyes no longer sparkled with warmth, when "I miss you" turned into "I've been busy." But she did. Women are emotional creatures. They feel the gap before they explain it. And when that emotional connection breaks, they test to see if you'll crumble or rise. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. When she pulls away, it's not about what she says, it's about what she feels watching your reaction. When you panic, double text, plead, explain yourself, she doesn't feel loved. She feels your need, and nothing repels feminine energy faster than emotional desperation disguised as care. You think by showing more affection, you'll bring her back. But in her mind, she's already wondering, where did the man who had boundaries go? The one who led with quiet strength instead of chasing validation? You're not losing her because you weren't good enough. You're losing her because you forgot how to be still when everything in you wanted to chase. So right now, if she's ignoring you, don't fight the silence. Sit with it, because your stillness is the only thing that commands her attention again. The moment you stop trying to win her back is the moment she starts to remember why she was drawn to you in the first place. Stay here, because what I'll tell you next isn't about playing games. It's about understanding what she's really thinking while she's pulling away, and how a man who knows his value always responds differently. Here's what most men never understand. When a woman pulls away, she's not always leaving. Sometimes she's checking if the man she felt drawn to still exists beneath the surface. Because in her emotional world, connection without polarity feels like emptiness. She starts craving the energy she once felt from you, that grounded presence, that quiet confidence that made her feel safe. But when you start seeking her approval, you reverse the polarity. You start chasing her feminine energy with your own. And suddenly, she feels like she's carrying the emotional weight you were supposed to hold. Let's go deeper into that. When a woman distances herself, her nervous system is trying to recalibrate. She's sensing whether you're truly the stable, self-respecting man she can emotionally trust, or just another man controlled by his own need for reassurance. So when you flood her phone, explain yourself, or try to fix the tension, you don't calm her, you overwhelm her. You rob her of the very emotional contrast that makes her attracted in the first place, your calm versus her chaos. What you must do instead is something counterintuitive. Nothing. That silence you dread, that's your advantage. It's where your masculine power breathes. You don't ignore her out of revenge. You hold space, meaning you don't chase, you don't beg, you don't try to manipulate her attention back. You simply allow the distance, because a woman feels safety when she knows a man won't emotionally collapse the moment she retreats. If you can master this, something powerful happens. She starts wondering about you. Her mind replays your stillness. She expected you to react, to panic, to chase, but you didn't. You became unpredictable, and unpredictability reignites curiosity. Curiosity becomes attraction. Attraction becomes emotional re-engagement. And I know, it's hard, especially when your ego screams, do something. But every time you resist that urge, you teach her something deeper, that your worth isn't determined by her attention. That's when she starts feeling that magnetic pull again. Not because you tried to win her back, but because you remembered who you are. In the next few moments, I'll reveal what's really happening inside her emotions while she's pulling away, and how your response either rebuilds or destroys that unseen connection between you. Here's what's happening inside her, though she'll never say it out loud. When she starts to withdraw, her emotions are conflicted. One part of her is tired. Maybe she's felt unseen. Maybe she's lost the excitement. Maybe she's testing if the connection was real. But another part still watches you. She's observing your energy like radar. Does he lose himself now? Does he stay centered? Does he need me to feel whole? That's what she's really evaluating. Not your words, but your emotional state when she disappears. Most men fail right there. They interpret her silence as rejection. They spiral, they chase, they talk too much. They confess things that should have stayed quiet. But what she's actually doing is trying to feel your strength through uncertainty. See, women don't fall for men because of constant validation. They fall for men who can remain calm when the emotional tide shifts. That calm creates polarity. It makes her feel safe enough to feel again. If you can resist the urge to react, something powerful starts to shift in her subconscious. She begins to sense your detachment, not the cold, ego-driven kind, but the kind rooted in self-worth. That energy hits her differently. It challenges her. She starts remembering the version of you that was once mysterious, confident, unbothered by outcome. The man who didn't need her attention to validate his identity. That memory reawakens attraction faster than any text ever could, and then the irony happens. She starts to reach out again, maybe subtly, maybe with an excuse, maybe through social media, because a woman who once felt she could read you suddenly can't. You've changed the emotional dynamic. She's no longer in control of the rhythm, and that makes her curious, even a little nervous. She wonders, did I lose him? Or did he finally remember his value? That's the point. You're not trying to make her chase you. You're simply becoming the man whose energy doesn't break under emotional distance. That shift rewires her entire perception of you. She begins to respect you again. And from respect, attraction is reborn. Now let's dive into what you should actually do during that silence. The habits, the mindset, the subtle moves that quietly rebuild the power she once felt in your presence. So, what should you actually do when she pulls away and the silence starts eating at you? The answer isn't in waiting by your phone, it's in rebuilding the man you were before her validation mattered. Because that's the version of you she first felt drawn to. When a woman withdraws, you must redirect that energy back into yourself, not into chasing her. You start by doing the simplest yet most powerful thing. Reclaim your focus. Stop checking her socials. Stop replaying her last message. Stop constructing imaginary conversations in your head. Instead, redirect that emotional intensity into your purpose, your discipline, your physical and mental strength. Go to the gym not to escape, but to rebuild. Sit in stillness, journal your thoughts, regain clarity on what you truly want in a relationship and what you refuse to tolerate anymore. Because every time you invest in yourself while she's distant, she feels it energetically. A woman's intuition is sharp. She can sense when your attention no longer revolves around her. That shift unnerves her, but it also reignites her curiosity. The man who handles distance with grace radiates rare confidence. You don't punish her, you don't guilt her, and you definitely don't beg. You respond with quiet power, maybe even a gentle, "I hope you're doing well," after a period of space. That simple, calm tone tells her everything. It says, "I care, but I'm not chasing. I respect your space, but I respect myself more." That's irresistible energy to a feminine woman. You see, women are naturally drawn to men who can hold emotional contrast, who don't mirror chaos with chaos. While she's uncertain, you stay composed. While she's testing, you stay patient. And in that stillness, something happens. Her emotional world begins to stabilize around your steadiness, because true masculine strength isn't about controlling her, it's about mastering yourself. And when you do, she feels that shift. Her texts become softer, her tone changes. She might apologize or open up again. But this time, you're not waiting for it. You're simply observing, deciding if her energy still aligns with the kind of peace you've rebuilt within yourself. Because once you reclaim that peace, you stop fearing loss. And paradoxically, that's exactly when she starts fearing losing you. Now here's where most men break the cycle, or repeat it forever. When she finally comes back around, maybe with a message, a subtle, "Hey, how have you been?" or even just watching your stories again, that's your moment of truth. Most men rush in, relieved, eager to fix things, ready to prove themselves again. But that's the trap. She's not testing your words anymore. She's testing your energy. She wants to see if you've truly changed or if you're still that same man driven by fear of losing her. When she reaches out, don't meet her with emotional intensity. Meet her with calm presence. That means your responses are warm, but not desperate. You don't jump back into old patterns. You don't ask, "Why were you ignoring me?" Or, "Did I do something wrong?" Instead, you radiate composure. Maybe you say something simple like, "It's good to hear from you." And then you move the conversation forward naturally. That subtle balance of interest without neediness speaks louder than any grand gesture. Remember this truth: attraction is not rebuilt through words, it's rebuilt through energy. When she sees that your world didn't fall apart during her distance, she begins to feel your strength again. And women are emotionally wired to be drawn to strength that doesn't overpower, but stabilizes. But let's be brutally honest, sometimes she won't come back. Sometimes the distance isn't a test, it's closure. And that's okay, because your reaction in that moment still defines your power. You either become bitter or you become better. You either chase what left or you evolve so deeply that losing her feels like gaining yourself. The man who embraces that mindset never loses. He only sheds what couldn't walk with him to the next level. So when she ignores you, don't see it as punishment. See it as purification. It's life forcing you to outgrow your emotional dependency. It's your chance to rise, not react, to stop needing external validation to feel whole. Because once you master that, every woman you meet afterward will sense something rare. A man who doesn't chase love, but chooses it consciously. And that's when you stop being just another option and start becoming the standard. Here's the truth that almost no one will tell you. When a woman distances herself, she's giving you a mirror, not a punishment. She's showing you the parts of yourself that crave external approval, the parts that panic when love isn't guaranteed. It's not about her silence, it's about what that silence reveals in you. Because every time you choose not to react, not to chase, not to collapse into anxiety, you evolve into a man who is emotionally sovereign. And that kind of man is magnetic beyond explanation. When you stop chasing her attention, you create emotional space. And in that space, your masculine energy expands. You begin to move differently, slower, more intentional, more grounded. You start listening more to your own intuition than to your insecurities. You rediscover your power, not in controlling outcomes, but in controlling your state. That's what women feel, that emotional stability that can't be faked. Because the truth is, when a woman pulls away, she's subconsciously asking, "Can you hold the storm without falling apart?" If you can, she begins to trust you again. Not because you said the right things, but because your energy told her, "I'm not here to chase love, I'm here to lead it." And that's when she softens, when her walls lower, when the feminine energy begins to flow back toward you naturally. But here's the deeper secret. This isn't just about women. It's about who you become through the process. Every test, every distance, every silence is shaping you into a man who doesn't need love to validate him, but who chooses love from a place of strength. That's rare. That's powerful. That's how you attract relationships that are rooted in respect, not dependency. So if she's ignoring you right now, don't see it as the end. See it as initiation. Let her go if she must. But in doing so, become the man she'll never forget. The one who didn't chase, but elevated. The one whose peace was louder than his pain. Because in the end, that's what makes a man truly unforgettable. Not how hard he tried to keep her, but how gracefully he stood when she walked away.